Hello everybody, this is Mark Potvin, and I would like to give you some updates today regarding our newest feature in Property Port called the Document Editor. What this does is it allows you to easily, in a graphical way, create and design documents that you can use on proposals and recap reports and CRM and other areas within the system. So what I'm going to do now, and this is a bit advanced, so I'm going to go to our configuration area. Now this is of course up in the settings as it always is, and then under our document formats, as always, we have where our documents are listed. I'm going to go to one here called Full Proposal, and you'll notice now that there's a new link called Document Editor right here. And this basically opens the editor for you and allows you to graphically go ahead and design this document. I'm going to go ahead and open it here. I'm going to go ahead and resize it, make it a little bit bigger so that I can see the entire page here. And let me give you a little bit of a layout of what's happening on this page, and then I will go ahead and give you a little bit of an idea of how this is created in general, so you have a better sense of what these modules are and what they're doing for you. Looking at the page, first of all, you have some basic settings up here on the left. So you have your document settings, and this gives you all your particulars, allows you to specify your background templates for your first page and pages after, and allows you to specify your default font for this particular item. We'll go ahead and pick this one here. Allows you to set up your default margins, top, right, bottom, left. Also your paper format. And if you're looking for more of a proposal design, you'll probably use a landscape view, else you use a regular one. And for all of these, you're going to have to use format version 2. Go ahead and update that here. Now, whenever you make a slight change, the page might flicker right here, because what it's actually doing is going out to the server and recalculating the whole document and presenting it to you in this HTML format here. Also at the top, you'll see the Add Modules, and this is where you're going to add new, what we call modules to this document. And you have 4 basic modules. One is a text box, which is where you can embed images and text and insert other text. A 2-column text, which is very similar to a text box, but there is just 2 columns of it. Page break is how you create a new page. And proposal items allows you to loop through all the proposal items and from there do a whole series of modules and activities around those. And I'll show you a little bit about those when we go to edit this particular document here. And then reload just basically reloads this document, recalculates everything in the background and so forth. Up here on the top right, you'll see a whole bunch of icons that represents the different document output formats that we have. With this document, you can add a click any of these icons, and it'll build this same document in PDF or any of the other formats that we have here. So this right now, it's building it in a PDF format, and you guys are familiar with that. Okay. Also, along this right side, you'll see a whole bunch of different boxes here, and these represent the different modules that are on this particular document. I can click any of those, and I can also click and reorder those, and I can also click on any module that's listed over here on the left in the actual document. So if I click on this, I can say, okay, this represents this text box, and I can go ahead and move this around, adjust it as I see fit, and I can click this little check mark here, which basically means save this module. Now that particular change is locked in, and now I'm ready to proceed to my next change and so forth. And I can click the different things. For this particular document, this background is a big image, and that's how that's layered in behind there. And essentially all these modules are just basically you just start at the top and it works its way down, and that's how the document is created. So of course, initially we have a single page to work with, and then it says, okay, first it goes and it looks at your document settings. It says, do I have a background? If yes, okay, I'll continue. It'll say, okay, now I want to add this text box, which would be this one right here. Then it will add this text box, which is this Meyer logo. Then it'll do a page break, as you can see here. Then it'll go through this assets custom and go through each individual asset, and I'll show you that one here in just a little bit when I finish the overview of the whole system here. Okay, so one other thing you'll notice is when I click on a module, the details will show up down here in the bottom left. So you'll see your margins, and you also have an edit and save button down here, which also mirrors the functionality of these 3 icons just above the module that you're editing. So it's more convenient most times just to click these modules up here. But for example, if I click the edit module, that'll allow me to edit all the contents of that module, change all the text that shows up, and also change your font size, your font color, etc. Set up some of those details. This icon right here is the delete module, and the middle icon, the check mark, is to actually save it on the system. We didn't make any changes, so there was no need to refresh that particular one. Okay, so the next thing I would probably do is just show you briefly here this assets custom module. And this is a special module because this essentially loops around every single asset and allows you to add content and manipulate what goes into the document regarding that particular asset. The general structure is, for assets, you have 3 different iterations. So you can loop around assets and you can set up 3 different text areas. And basically, in most times, we use the top 2 for the asset name and the asset description. And you can set the different font sizes and the margins for each of those. Of course, graphically, you can also set those margins by adjusting the grid lines here as well. So what I could do is, if I wanted to do that and save that change, you'll see that it's, after it refreshed, it saved the change, and you'll notice for every single asset that same margin now exists. And that'll do the same thing for all of these. So if I wanted to move this one over here and say, okay, I wanted to make a little narrower on the page, I could do that, hit save, and now I'm done. Now these images are actually managed right through the module settings here. As you can see, I can include the images and set my max width and height. And those are placed not manually, but by the system, because it is an arbitrary number of images you may have for any given asset. Okay, so going through this, these are more assets here. And then I can go back basically to our end of our document. You can see that I have some more modules, and I can basically do the same simple functions to change this document. And when I'm ready, I can just close this window and proceed on. I think that's all I have to show you here. It's pretty self-explanatory, I think, once you get started. One thing I guess I should have told you as well is you can rearrange these modules down here at the bottom by clicking and dragging, and that will alter the document as a whole. And then, of course, you can hit update to save, to lock in those changes that you just made there. Okay, I think that's about it. If there's any more questions, of course, as always, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. Looking forward to any of your questions. Thank you very much.